Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.,
Son of a gun.
Matt Hayes,
His balls are different in person.
Mia O'Brien,
I don't know what they're doing.
and Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
Welcome in. Hump Day is here. Wednesday, middle of the week. And we've got Jaguars at the podium a little bit later on. We'll be carrying those live pressers as Trevor greets Duval as he comes back for the offseason conditioning. He, along with Calvin Ridley. And I know people are going to want to hear what he has to say. Foye Oluwakan also. So we got them all coming up a little bit later on, but this is the first chance that you'll be able to hear from your Jaguars in the offseason as far as getting back to work. Now, we had Chad Moom on yesterday. We're going to have Luke Fortner on a little bit later on today. So we got plenty of Jaguar talk as we get closer and closer to the draft. And there's some draft chatter out there, including maybe some player movement with Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers. I love how they said, hey, we're not calling anybody. We are fielding phone calls. We are fielding phone calls. We're not trying to shop Trey Lance. We're not doing that. All right, so we got some draft talk. Last night, the news comes out that Draymond Green suspended for this next game. Golden State comes back home down 0-2 to the Sacramento Kings. We'll take a look at the NBA schedule tonight. What happened last night? Durant and Booker were able to at least even things up against L.A. What did you think of that, Leon?
Oh, I mean, not only did he hurt them once, he hurt them twice. They go down 3-0, it's a wrap. I don't care what anybody says. If they go into Golden State and they win that game, they split, they win. Mm-hmm. If they go up 3-1, going to take it back to Sacramento, the game is a wrap.
Yeah, it's already hard enough. They're going to have to win 4 or 5 for Golden State. So that ain't going to be easy.
They got it in them?
I don't know if I'd say wrap.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
Steph.
of course, you never can count out Steph. But if they split at Golden State, they come back to Sacramento, it's going to be a wrap.
Yeah, they got a good chance, that's for sure.
Because
honestly, they got to win 4 in a row.
Has there ever been an NBA team to come back from down 3-0? I don't think there has.
In the first round?
In any round.
Yeah.
Has Golden State ever gone out in the first round with Steph?
Yeah.
That's the question.
2007.
2007,
that was
they
the
won in the
last
first
time.
round?
That was the last time they were down 0-2, and I think that was like his second year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
well.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
0 times, by the way.
0?
History of the league.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
There are only 3 teams that have come back to force a Game 7 even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
in baseball, there's only been that one. Yeah, Red Sox, Yankees.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, the Red Sox were down and then took it from that, and then they won 8 straight.
Yeah.
And won the whole thing.
Oh, was that the time where the Yankees were cheering, "Who's your daddy"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember that specifically. Who's your daddy?
When Alexander Emmanuel slapped the first baseman's glove, and that was the kiss of death. And that's when it all went to CRAP in a real handbasket.
Yeah. All right. So, agree or disagree with Draymond getting a suspension? Because basically, what the NBA said, and they came out and they made a point of this, is that it is his rap sheet. It is what he has done before. And then another point was made about basically trying to fire up the crowd, maybe even incite the crowd a little bit. So those antics afterwards is probably what led to
They also said, sorry to cut you off, but quickly, they said that his previous behavior went into the
I was just going to say that, JJ. He's got history. He's got history of
his rap sheet.
I told you he's got uncontrollable feet. Yeah. All right, whatever he does, he just flares them everywhere. But this particular time, he could have done one or two things. He could have paused, let the guy release his leg, or he could have stepped backwards, but he chose to step on the man's chest.
Yeah. And by the way, Sabonis did look like he was an actor in Saving Private Ryan.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
It looked like he was going to pick up the Purple Heart as soon as he got up off the floor.
Needs an Emmy for that.
We're going to need
severe pain.
We're going to need Dr. Bari's assessment of the sternum strain.
Yeah.
I
love
think
how you guys are like
sternum
protecting
contusion.
Dre.
Sternum contusion. What exactly that is?
Yeah.
What did you say about Dre's legs again?
I said they frail. He uncontrollable.
Jimmy legs.
Uncontrollable.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy legs.
I don't know if they're uncontrollable.
Happy feet. You saw the movie.
I think they're very controllable.
Happy
is what
feet.
they are.
You saw the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but they get loose. They get wild. They get
on purpose.
In the postseason more than anything else. That's for sure. But, I just feel like, and they said this is one of the, the bigger, harsher moves that the NBA has made, in the postseason. I totally get it. I don't know whether they're going to send a message, whether they're going to change anything. But, if you look at any angle, It's that second opportunity that Draymond had to not do something, and he chose to do something. And if you look at that kind of that floor level camera shot, that stomp does look pretty bad. Yeah. That's the one that looks pretty
Inexcusable.
bad. Huh?
Inexcusable.
Yeah.
Wouldn't call him.
I say he's a turd.
Oh, by the way, our poll question, Leon, if you missed it yesterday,
The
which
results.
is more disrespectful, turd or goon? Turd won by a landslide. It was like 70%.
Yeah.
I would think Goon would be way more disrespectful.
I don't think it is, because in the sports world, goon is like a hockey. It's like
it's respect.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's respect.
People go by that.
Yeah, because a goon is an enforcer. And so you go in there and you take care of business. You do the dirty
a turd is just like a cheap shot artist.
and you know what else?
Which is what Trey is.
But you know what else? A goon, Ray Donovan. Ray Donovan takes care of business.
Right, but Ray Donovan's a little different.
Yeah, but he takes care of business.
He's protecting the people.
By the way, it actually, JJ, it wasn't 2000.
one of the
So
all-time
2007 was the last time the Warriors found themselves down 0-2 in the first round. But Steph Curry did not enter the league until 2009. So that was
probably like Baron Davis.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been that team it was 07, 08. And yeah, would have been the Baron Davis era. Monte Ellis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's been a long time. You know?
Jason Richardson. Very different era. Very. I don't think of the Warriors before Steph.
Oh, they were terrible.
Like it's hard
My
to.
entire life, the Warriors were pretty damn bad.
And by the way, there was a time before Steve Kerr came in there, Mark Jackson had him rolling, okay? At the very least, the beginning of them getting rolling. And then they rolled him out of there. And then Steve Kerr is taking the reins and has never looked back.
Unlike the Brooklyn Nets, hiring someone who had never really coached before, but they knew as a former player would work out for them. Pretty nice. Pretty nice having old Steve Kerr. Obviously, he had executive front office experience. Then he had been in the television game as well. You know what happened pre-Steph Curry out in the Bay,
well,
JJ?
Steve Kerr had a job before that.
No, he did. That's what I'm saying. He was in the Suns front office.
No, he was a coach.
That's true. That is also true compared to whatchamacallit?
Steve Nash?
Steve Nash.
Yeah, if you go back and you find these guys, Nash, they just desperately
they wanted to try to recreate the Kerr model. No, you want to know who was in Golden State before Steph? Eric Musselman, the head coach, fired after the 2004 season. Now, of course, the reclamation project in Arkansas complete.
Well,
with back-to-back Elite Eight and then a Sweet 16 run.
And I don't think there's any rhyme or reason that you can get, a guy from the association and bring him back into college and think that, you're going to get the results. I thought Avery Johnson would be fantastic. I really, really did. And it just did not work. And then Nate Oates has come into Alabama and has done great things. I don't know whether it's a checkbook or a whistle. I'm not sure, but he's done great things. And then obviously Musselman in Arkansas definitely has been a great hire. They had two really good hires when you think about it, trying to clean things up there. Sam Pittman and Eric Musselman, that's for sure. All right, let's touch on Trey Lance. Leon, when you think of Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, they've done great things. We know that. And it didn't really matter, it seemed, who was under center. They had enough good things going that they were able to, go deep into the postseason, and maybe a quarterback did hold them up at the end. The injury this time to Brock Purdy. What do you think about maybe them taking phone calls for Trey Lance?
Well, I mean, it's like you trying to sell your car, your antique car that you haven't driven. All right. I mean, last time we saw Trey Lance actually play. Wait, how many games did he start last year? Two games.
And it happened early with the fractured ankle.
Yeah, I mean, but he doesn't have enough film. I mean, you can go and look at him with how he played in college, but he doesn't have enough film to actually garner any attention, in my opinion, because he's coming off of an ankle injury.
Yeah,
I mean, first you got to find out he's got to pass the medical, and then I don't know. I just don't have enough film, or I don't have enough sample size to make a determination if he can come play quarterback for me.
2 games last year.
Yeah, 2 games
zero
last year.
touchdowns passing.
Yeah,
one interception.
Yeah, try selling that. All right, try selling that.
I mean, look
13 yards rushing or 67 yards rushing.
Yeah, I mean, just look at it this way.
I mean, it was already. I mean, to cut you off.
Yeah, you're good. No, you're good.
It was already bad enough that when he got drafted, I mean, he had a small sample size then, and they traded they mortgaged
17 games.
17 games.
Oh yeah.
They
Which
Right.
oh, by the way, is 4 more games than
4
Anthony
more games.
Richardson.
Yeah, exactly. I knew that.
Trey Lance
Starts. 4 more starts.
Trey Lance has taken more sacks than he has thrown touchdowns in the National Football League.
Yeah, try selling that to a team.
And,
But someone couldn't be desperate.
No,
enough.
absolutely.
They could be desperate
and that's where whether it is that they're dealing Trey Lance or they're dealing Brock Purdy, whoever it is the 49ers decide to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a better option for a team like the Houston Texans who say that they're not sold on C.J. Stroud? And so would you rather have a guy who at the very least has experience in the National Football League, even if it isn't a lot? Because then, it's kind of similar to you look at the transfer portal and how we're seeing in college. You would rather take a 20 or 21-year-old who's been in the game, has been in a college weight room, than you would an 18-year-old kid. And so in the same vein, would you rather have a Trey Lance or a Brock Purdy or a Mac Jones, since allegedly the Patriots were shopping the Jacksonville native as well? Would you rather have them versus the kid right out of school?
I would rather have the guy that, of the ones we've mentioned, have been successful. Mac Jones has been successful an entire season, did take a team to the postseason. We all know it went awry this last year, but I don't think they were pointing the finger at him as much as they're pointing the finger at coordinators and coaching, because it was pitiful. Yeah, it was pitiful. And so I would look at him, I'd still give him a plus mark, right? Then I'd look at Brock Purdy, and I'd say, wait a minute, as soon as this guy got under center, he looked like he was a veteran. We're talking Mr. Irrelevant, the last guy chosen in the draft. So those two, those are like transfer portal-like. But then when you look at the draft and you say to yourself, I don't have to start with a guy already that much closer to the next deal, which I'm going to have to pay more for, and I may not have a high opinion of him, as high as a Bryce Young. Yeah. So that'd be tough, man. I'd probably still go Bryce Young.
Well, I say that there's no other position in the NFL where the lack of experience or lack of performance where they get passes than quarterback. I mean, every offensive coordinator has an ego. He thinks that whatever this kid did in college or the lack of experience of this kid, I can somehow garner the magic wand to get this kid to play at a very high level. Now, the 49ers, if anything can be proven by that, they did it last year with your guy, Mr. Irrelevant. Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy comes in there, they game plan it, they put him in a situation where he's winning ball games, takes us to the playoff, and if it wasn't for an injury in the AFC Championship game, they were one game away from going to the Super Bowl. So in that particular instance, it was proven. But most of these offensive coordinators, based upon your quarterback, whether he has experience or not, they have egos, and they think that I put you in my game plan, you're in my meetings, I can garner the wand to get you ready to play at the NFL level. And there's no other position in the NFL. If we were talking about a lineman or a linebacker or a running back, no other position in the NFL gets a waiver more than the quarterback.
No, 100% on that. That is the real deal. They will take more chances. They'll risk more. They'll pay more. They'll do all that stuff. That's for sure. Golf Club of Southampton bringing you today's show. You can dial up that phone right now, 287-PLAY. Come on out and join me. We will be at the 9 after 5 right there on 210. Beautiful golf course. And we always have a fun 9-hole game. And then you got a little food afterwards, some prizes. And so it's just a great afternoon. So we'd love to see you. 287-PLAY. Call the Golf Club of Southampton. Now we have our good, bad, and ugly coming up in about 15 minutes because we're going to get into the top 5 of the good, the bad, the ugly. And we all have different versions, variations of what is good, what is bad, what is ugly. There's some dupes. We have duplicates. But they've shown up, at least for the most part, at different spots on all of our list. We've had some where they've flashed in the same day, like, say, Rasheed Mathis, I think, on Monday. Big Source and I had him as number 7 overall. But we've got all those coming up, good, bad, and ugly, as we get ready for them. C.J. Stroud is visiting the Falcons today. Matt, have you heard anything based on what we said yesterday that Will Levis is moving up, at least in the mind of Vegas odds makers?
He definitely is.
Yeah, that he might be a betting choice for the second quarterback to come off the board. C.J. Stroud visiting the Falcons today. Have we heard anything?
By the way, yes, Vegas is doing that, but at the end of the day, I think we're still close. We're still about, a week and a day, I guess now, right? Yeah, 8 days out. They're still going to go back to tape because you got to go to tape. There's no way you can see both those guys' tapes and say, I'd rather have one.
How are they still deciding?
It's a tough choice.
Don't because we think that they've already made
I'm
the
not sure they have
decision?
decided.
No, it's a tough choice.
Well, they haven't, but the reality is there's a lot of false information going out there.
I believe that.
On purpose.
But I find it hard to believe that they're just like, all right, I'm going to go back one more time.
They're posturing.
I'm going to watch this game one more time.
Well, they do. It's paralysis by analysis, too.
But think about this, JJ.
Totally is.
Coach and I did the Campo and Joe podcast yesterday. And I said, just take us through. Here we are. We're 9 days out. This was yesterday when we're doing it. And he says, it's just like anything. It's like, all right, you go back and you think, I'm going to use your proposal as an example. Now, you were just like, today's the day. You made your decision, right? But you had thought about for a while, were you going to ask this person to marry you to spend the rest of your life with, right?
Yes.
Okay? That's a pretty big decision. And so you probably went over and over and over in your mind. And these guys right now are making what they feel like is a major decision at the top of the board. They're going to be married to something for quite some time if it goes right.
Listen, I want to tell Coach in 92, why didn't he trade up and come get me?
He should have.
You're right. He could have traded up and get me.
He should have. That was Jimmy. Jimmy should. And Jimmy liked Big Surs a lot at that position, but he did not.
No, but they were at 17. They weren't going to move up.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
yeah.
And the one thing Jimmy was not going to give up is draft capital.
Yeah, true. And he had picked up quite a bit of it
Yes.
by getting others to give up draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that I think what happens, the reason why they sit here and they go over it and over and over it, because they don't want to be wrong. And more often than not, they're probably wrong. And it's that paralysis by analysis that takes place. And they will go over the tape. And the way Coach describes it, it's great how he goes through it. Just, you go from basically start to finish. The scouts take on the tape when they go and see this player in a game, and then it goes all the way through the filter to where it gets to the general manager, the head coach, and the owner. And then they want to make the decision. And so you can just imagine with all those heads coming together that there's going to be, well, what do you think about, all right, let's go back and look at that again. And that's what takes place.
And they're just like the Jets. We're taking Zach Wilson.
Right.
Yeah, that
And
part.
I would,
What?
I would think that the Zach Wilson effect, which there's a big difference between a BYU quarterback that flashed in his second year in college and was very good in his third year in college, even though it was the COVID year. And so I really don't know how much stock you can really put into that year because of who BYU was playing, because they played Coastal Carolina like 3 times. But I think that's the reason, JJ, and that's what's so fascinating, knowing that C.J. Stroud played at a Big Ten perennial power at Ohio State, but now there's this buyer's remorse sense for that. If you are not sold, if it is not a Trevor Lawrence type draft pick, do you want to risk drafting a quarterback in the first round? And I would think, too, that kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, now he is going to be chosen over the number 3 pick in Trey Lance.
Yeah, well, despite whatever the scouts do, despite all the indecision, the back and forth, all these teams that will be going through over the next 8 days or whatever, the first round pick is still a 50-50 ball.
Right.
It's still
Always
50-50.
has been.
Always been, has been. Absolutely.
Plus, you can't compare quarterbacks to Trevor Lawrence. At some point, you got to compare them to the actual year they're coming out. You can't say let's compare him to Andrew Luck or to Trevor Lawrence that's literally a futile argument. You cannot do that. So I think it's more along the lines of, okay, we've seen these Ohio State quarterbacks, and
they've got history.
They're not good in the NFL. And then you say, well, what about Kentucky quarterbacks? And then you're like, well, there's been one.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't good either.
And it
Tim
didn't
Couch.
pick. Yeah, Timmy
He was
Couch.
first
Tim
overall
Couch,
pick.
yeah.
So
you can do this mental gymnastics forever. At the end of the day, again, you got to watch the tape and you got to say, all right, can his skills translate to the next level? And if you believe they can, then you take
Well,
them.
when you think about Alabama, as of late, Alabama quarterbacks have
Really good.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, really good.
Flutter. I mean, before Tua, who
Tua,
Jalen Hurts, Mac
Jalen
Jones,
Hurts and Tua. Who else?
Mac
Yeah.
Jones.
and they're taking credit for Jalen now.
I'm saying before
Bryce Young, that's 4 now.
No, Joe. I'm trying to prove a point.
That's
Joe,
four since
I was saying
2019.
since Tua. I'm saying before that. I'm talking about the guys that won championships on the Knicks.
Right, AJ,
McElroy, those guys.
Coker, all those guys. They didn't.
Yeah,
do
but
anything.
okay, let's now talk about Jalen.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Now, I said as
Mac
of
Jones,
late.
Bryce Young.
As of late means like a 3 to 5.
If they do have to take credit for Jalen, they will. Even though he's
of course
signed
they
up.
will.
He started
Yeah.
there.
Played his first 3 years there. Why wouldn't they?
I'm moving my behind on, and I'm going to get
Taking my
drafted.
talents somewhere
I'm going
else.
to get drafted based on someone else coaching me. Is what he ended up doing.
Come on, man. He still would have got drafted.
He was great, man. He was 26-2. He was
He
great.
still would have
man.
got drafted. He stayed at Alabama. Even if he was a
yeah,
backup,
yeah.
he still would have gotten
Right.
drafted.
But he probably
but-
doesn't go. I mean, even then he went in the second round.
Let's be real. Lincoln Riley made him a better quarterback. Let's not mistake that.
I think Lincoln did a great job with
Yeah.
him, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean Sark wouldn't have 2 had he played. He just was behind 2 others. Nothing he
Right.
can do about it.
Yeah, but there's a reason why he lost the job to Tua, because Tua was a better passer.
Yes.
And that's why he went to Lincoln to say, make me a better passer so I will be attractive to the league. That's what happened. And then he goes in, he gets a second-round selection by Philadelphia. They take a chance on him because of how much he was improved as a passer. All right, let's make this a little like saucy nug slash. Not necessarily going to be a funky fact, but just to go through this as far as the quarterback is concerned. And we've said this.
A funky nug, maybe?
Yeah, a funky
Saucy
nug.
nugs.
But we have said this, that it's a coin flip deal. There's no doubt about it when it comes to the quarterback in the first round in particular. When you go over the draft, 26 quarterbacks have been selected in the first round when you go back over time. Who's the most recent? Number 1 selection overall, right
Trevor
here in
Lawrence,
Jacksonville. Then we have
Joey B.
26 quarterbacks that have gone number 1 overall. Next position that has drafted the most, number 1, defensive end. And guess who the last number 1 defensive end was?
Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker. All right, so now after that, there have been 7 running backs taken number 1 overall. Can you remember who the last
That'll
one
never
was?
happen again.
No. Can you remember who the last one was?
taken 1 overall.
One
That's a good
overall.
one.
Was it Dickerson?
No. You'd be going way back with
recent.
him.
Yeah, be more recent than that.
It was Adrian Peterson not taking number
no,
1.
No, he wasn't taking that.
And here's the
So in the 2000s?
no.
90s?
Yeah, in the 90s. And here's the bad thing.
Barry Sanders went number 2, right?
Yeah, the bad thing is this guy instantly had an injury.
Kajana Walker.
Yeah,
Kajana Carter.
Yeah,
Carter.
yeah,
Yeah.
completely wrecked his career. So I don't know whether that
Who was that to?
to Cincinnati
It was ahead of Baselli.
in 1995.
Yeah.
7 running backs have gone number 1, and as we all agree, that will not happen again. I can't imagine that happening again. 4 offensive tackles have gone number 1 overall. Last one?
Luke Jokel was second.
No.
The kid the Chiefs took. It's the guy the Chiefs took.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so Eric Fisher.
Eric Fisher,
Yeah,
Eric
same
Fisher.
draft.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I bet we can name those 4 overalls.
yeah.
Fisher, Orlando Pace.
Yeah. I don't have them all right in front of me, but yeah.
You don't, but you know the 4?
No, I'm sitting here
Pull it up.
just thinking about it myself.
The Ravens.
Ogden was 2,
He was 2.
I believe.
Pittman was 2. No, he was a lot of defensive lineman.
Mandarich, what was he?
Yeah, Tony Mandarich
Was
was
he one? No,
might
he
have been
wasn't
number
one.
1.
He wasn't 1. He
No.
wasn't
While they're doing this, Mia was right. Steve Kerr never coached anywhere else besides Golden State.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in a
I thought he coached the
I can't think of the
Suns.
number 1
Nah, he was in the front office.
All right, so we'll
So
get
I
back
guess
to
you
that.
can't, Matt.
All right, so so I got so Eric Fisher,
Mhm.
Jake Long,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I forgot
yeah,
about
Jake
Jake
from
Long. in
Miami.
Jake
Miami.
Long,
Dolphins.
Orlando Pace,
Mhm.
and then we got to go all the way back in the way back machine to
What year?
1968.
Bob Lilly.
No,
Ron
Bob Lilly's DT.
Yeri.
Ron Yeri, yeah.
Yeah.
Ron Yeri.
Ron
okay.
Yeri.
All right.
Lilly's on the
course.
other side.
Lilly's DT.
Yeah. Defensive tackles then. Last
1
one
overall?
taken. Yeah. 3 have been taken.
Well, are we counting Trayvon Walker as a
I was
defensive
just
end or a
about to
defensive
say
tackle?
that.
I
He
mean,
may be the new distinction, but anyway, 3
Three.
defensive
Project.
tackles
Russell Merlin is 1.
taken
Russell
number
Merlin
1
is one.
overall since 1967. Who was the last one?
Russell Maryland.
Nope.
Sapp?
No,
one
Sat
of them?
was 11.
This is
Aaron-
another
no,
guy that
Aaron.
did not work
Adomicke.
out.
Oh,
Orlando
Steve
Brown.
Edmond?
Uh,
Steve Edmond was a defensive tackle. He was
No,
an
he was
end.
an end, I
He was in. You're right.
yeah, but he did not work out either.
Yeah,
What
well,
year?
I
Give us
did.
the year.
Wait, is it
I
the
have it
guy
in
from
front
the
of me.
Browns?
1994.
yeah, I have it in front
All
of me,
right,
so I'm
hang
not
on.
going to cheat.
94?
Oh, I should know this.
Yeah.
94.
You should.
I should know this. Number 1.
Since
But
you're
I
blocking
don't.
him.
But I don't. Is it Big Daddy Williams?
Yeah,
Dan
Wilkinson, right.
Dan
right,
Wilkinson.
right.
Played against Big
Yep,
Daddy.
1994, a linebacker, twice number 1 overall. We know who one is. Who's the other?
Didn't Tom Kuzno go 1 overall?
Again, these are busts. Just to give you, it's crazy.
What are we doing? Linebackers?
Yeah, linebacker.
Oh, we're doing linebackers?
Oh, what's his
Last
name?
guy.
What's his name that played at Atlanta?
Yep.
Andre
Yep.
Bruce.
Yep.
Andre Bruce.
He
Andre
wasn't really a
Bruce.
linebacker, though. He was an end more like. He was
Yeah,
like an
but
edge
he was
guy.
a linebacker.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah,
Tom
Andre Bruce.
Kuzno drafted 1
Yeah.
overall?
No.
No?
I can't remember that.
Has there ever been a good player drafted
Honestly.
number 1 overall?
No, I'm
Oh,
serious.
we got.
He
All right,
was.
so let's go through some of the hits.
The only thing we're going to roll
Let-
with is that Trevor.
Trevor,
is
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
yeah. So Trevor, let's go through this actually, because I think it's a good
Oh my
exercise as
God.
we talk about Bryce Young and his viability if he is the number 1 overall pick. Some
By the way, Tom Cousineau was the first overall.
Number
pick.
one. Yeah.
Some,
so I'm looking at the last one.
79.
Just to wrap this up.
Yeah.
The other position that was listed, number 1 overall, wide receiver.
It's a lot of Ohio State players at 1 overall, by the way.
Yeah. And so who was the last?
Maybe that's what the Texans are worried about.
Yep.
Keyshawn
Keyshawn was the last, and
That
remember who the
worked
other
out,
one was?
I guess.
I do actually.
Yeah. I'm looking over at Matt just to remember who the.
I think it's like.
I believe it was
Your favorite college town.
No, is it like
I believe
Lance
it was-
Allworth, maybe?
Your favorite
Irving
college town.
Fryer.
Irvin Fryer. Wow.
Yeah. Remember that? And he was supposed to be a do-everything guy, and he was a great guy, but it just didn't work out as being the. And by the way, it didn't work out with Keyshawn either, as far as being the dynamic player.
Among retired
He was pretty
former
good.
number
Come on.
1
He was
overall
good, but,
picks.
yeah.
Here's some that worked out. Peyton Manning, obviously, was number 1 overall. That one worked out. Orlando Pace, 1997. Troy Aikman, 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Smith, 1985. John Elway, 1983. There's a couple Hall of Famers there. So
Oh, yeah.
it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
awful. It's not awful.
And we did all the number ones at the quarterback position, and it's a 50-50. And if you do number 1 overall, it's basically a 50-50.
And give me some recent ones,
yeah.
though.
Yeah. Oh,
Some
you're-
recent
Like,
ones?
those are all
You're right
from
about
the
that.
90s
Well,
and
so
before.
I was just
Trevor
doing
and Trayvon,
retired
bro.
players. So let's do since 2000. Michael Vick, what would you say about him?
Yes, of
He was-
course.
Okay.
No,
No?
it
You say
did
no?
not work out. Michael Vick's
He was a great
career,
player.
You're
he
out of
was a
your
great
mind.
player. Michael
You're out of your
Vick didn't
mind.
have a great career.
How about
Yeah.
Carson?
He never won
So,
anything.
Okay, so then if you're number 1 overall, you have to win the Super Bowl. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
The team has.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the team has to have something to do
Or
with
be
this.
a
It's
Hall
not
of
just,
Famer or something.
I don't agree.
Okay,
with that.
how
I think he's a
about-
great
If it was the
He's
quarterback
not even close
sweepstakes,
to a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Carson-
Quarterback sweepstakes, Michael Vick would have won. It was a team game that he was involved in.
Carson Palmer.
He also went
Also,
to prison in the
had a
middle of
really
his
good pro
career.
Carson Palmer.
Eli
That
Manning.
was bad.
Eli
Yes,
Manning
it
has
was.
2 Super
He's Hall of
Bowls.
Famer.
Alex Smith.
Injuries.
Mario Williams.
Yeah. Alex Smith, good
He
player,
had a
never
good
great
career.
player.
Mario Williams had a good career.
Matthew Stafford.
Going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Cam
now's got-
Newton.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah. Hall of Famer.
Eric
I
Fisher.
don't know about Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't
He's
know if he
Hall of
makes
Famer,
it.
bro.
Jadavion
Look what's
Clowney.
happening.
Yeah.
Luck.
Jameis Winston.
Fisher was best available.
Jadavion
Jameis,
Clowney,
no.
What do you mean? He's been on like 12 teams. No, it's a disappointing career.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you're saying like, maybe.
No, I'm saying no.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All right. We got
I
a few
still
more.
disagree about Michael Vick. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the minority.
I
can
love
guarantee
Michael
you
Vick,
that.
but I mean,
was just-
his career was a huge disappointment.
And the thing is that
Okay,
he
let's
kicked
make it
down,
a poll today then.
Yeah, he kicked down so many doors in terms of the way he ran the offense and made defenses have to account for him.
Absolutely.
And so from that, not necessarily the pioneer, because Randall Cunningham in a lot of ways was, and then Michael Vick just became so much more of a dynamic guy
fact,
at that position.
Yay or nay on the pop-off line. Michael Vick.
Yeah. 207
Worth
70
the
71.
worth the number 1 overall or not?
Yeah. 207 70 71. Mike Vick, what do you think about him? Hit the pop-off line. Let us know what you think about that. We got plenty more rolling as we get ready for our good, bad, and ugly.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Anytime Fitness Sawgrass is the preferred gym of yours truly, Mia O'Brien. Strengthen everything from calves to confidence.
From the edge of your radio to the edge of your seat. Showtime! Feel the excitement of live play-by-play
And this place is rocking right now.
on 1010XL.
Working in the trades industry, going nowhere, sick of dealing with grueling residential install projects and demanding seasonal schedules? Become part of something better. All Weather Contractors wants you to join our multifamily and commercial construction property maintenance team now. Based in Jacksonville, we offer premium pay, bonus